Among all artists, Andy Warhol might be the most overused reference in fashion, yet few have engaged with him as faithfully or as intensely as Raf Simons. Back at Dior, he used Warhol's early magazine illustrations as prints for the Fall-Winter 2013 collection. When he arrived at Calvin Klein, he went further, securing a 4-year licensing agreement with the Andy Warhol Foundation, a term that would outlast his own. This partnership brought Warhol's lesser-known works into Calvin Klein's fashion collections and homeware lines. The stylized image of American ease and allure gave way to something darker. With its electric chairs and car crashes, Warhol's Death and Disaster series took center stage, caught between beauty and violence, dream and nightmare. In the Spring-Summer 2018 collection, Warhol's electric chair made 5 appearances. These prints reiterate the 1953 press photograph of Sing Sing Correctional Facility's execution chamber with lurid hues. As with many of Warhol's works, repetition here is charged with compulsive energy. Created in the United States in 1889, the electric chair was marketed as a humane innovation. When measured against the gallows, it was sanitary, swift, and modern. But was it, really? With his business staked on direct current transmission, the inventor Thomas Edison was waging a losing battle against the rapid ascent of alternating current. DC had one fatal flaw: it couldn't travel far, but AC could. Thanks to transformers, it lit up entire cities. In an effort to regain ground, Edison carefully staged a string of public educational stunts. He conducted in public injurious AC demonstrations on poultry, cats, dogs, horses, and even an elephant. Each demonstration hammered in one idea: AC was dangerous and deadly. Not only that, he secretly backed engineer Harold Brown in persuading the government to adopt AC for executions. Brown presented himself as an independent consultant, but behind the scenes, Edison footed the bill and delivered the hardware. They bypassed the power companies, sourced generators from suppliers, and wired the chair to run on AC. The execution so became the stage for a PR ambush in the current war. The first electric chair was installed at Auburn Prison in New York, where it was used to execute a prisoner named William Kemmler. The first jolt was too brief. Kemmler lost consciousness. A second jolt was administered. This time, it burned through him, cracking his skull, leaving him scorched and blackened. Newspapers likened the execution to a grotesque slaughter. While denouncing the brutality, media's relentless detailing turned the execution into a spectacle, provoking both dread and fascination. People flinched at the cruelty, then leaned closer. In time, the electric chair became a symbol of death in American pop culture, haunting movies, novels, and comics. Its symbolic weight outlived its function. It was copied and commodified in visual culture. To Warhol, the electric chair belonged on the same shelf as Campbell's soup. Both were part of the packaged, mass-produced reality. These artworks mirrored the compulsive, unceasing stream of media coverage, its relentless messaging and indifferent consumption. But Warhol offered no blood, no violence, only absence. All we see is an empty room, a vacant chair, and a single word on the wall: silence. It's not the canvas that enacts the violence, but the viewer who finishes the scene. To look is to take part. It's a visual test of conscience. If Warhol had us confront violence through looking, Simons turned that gaze back on its own impulse. Calvin Klein built a language of desire on visual codes of seduction and ease, a body meant to be looked at, a gaze stripped of guilt. Simons, however, stamped Warhol's electric chair across the torso, an image that resisted easy viewing, jarring the gaze from its learned reflex. Calvin Klein's brand of sensuality has always been closely tied to the American fantasy. Blue jeans, white shirts, and the familiar logo hugging the waist are all parts of a myth that could be bought and imitated. Calvin Klein wanted a creative director who could solidify its place in the market. What Simons delivered was a visual experiment using fashion to unravel the myth. This was clearly not the direction the brand had in mind, and the two ultimately parted ways. It was a short-lived partnership, yet the contrast between the two made for a strangely compelling collision. Does mismatch always mean misfire? I'll see you in the comments.